What's your advice to men who want to be good fathers, but they
Yeah.
What's your advice to that man? You already know what it is, man. This is Fred with the I Say That to Say This podcast, brought to you by M3S3. I appreciate you pulling up to check out this new episode. But listen, to help this channel grow, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe.
And don't forget, the members get exclusive content.
You already know. Hope you enjoy the show. Yo. You already know what it is, man. It's Fred with M3S3. Men make moves, suckers stand still. This the I Say That to Say This podcast. Why do we call it that? Because people do all kind of talking. They take all your time up. But when they finally say what they need to say, when they get to the meat and potatoes, they say, look, I say that to say this. Brought to you by M3S3. Shop with us, www.m3s3apparel.com. We're going to do a quick run through with our people in the building. To my right.
It's the people's choice. Y'all know the voice means to talk to me because I talk back. Mike, the gatekeeper. Make sure y'all follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
Grind Mode Chaos, Section 8 Sex Symbol. I'm going to keep it short, man. Let's do it.
Let's get it.
Coco at Palmy, please, Coco.
Shout it out. Yeah. So look, before we get into this, man, a couple quick announcements. July 17th, we in Atlanta with the Boiling Room event. I'll be hosting alongside Tay Rock and Chilla Jones and a few others. We got my guy King Key on the card. If you in Atlanta, pull up. July 19th, M3S3 in the Riot event. Shout out to my guy M3S3 Q, Geechee Gotti. We got Av versus Vixen. We got Loso versus J Moore. J Moore, we got my guy King Kia versus Justice, King Stokes and Cino versus Henny Man and Ryder. Mad other people on that card, but I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that. Right. You know what I'm saying? And one more thing, shout out to my guys Smack and French. They just dropped Coke Smack. It's a new project that Smack and French Montana is working on. Salute to them. Make sure y'all tap into that. And we're gonna get straight into it now.
Legendary.
Now, we here with the man whose contributions to hip hop and the culture are undeniable. He's brought us the Source magazine. He helped elevate hip hop when it was still fighting for mainstream recognition. He's helped so many people behind closed doors and don't even feel like asking for credit. If you ask around, well, yeah, you know, I ain't gonna say his name yet, but yeah, he, you know what I'm saying? The iconic Source Awards that shake the narrative of hip hop journalism. This is, and that is his legacy. And today we want to celebrate it and celebrate the legend behind it. We got Benzino in the building.
Oh man, appreciate that.
Come on. You already know what it is. You already know what it is.
I appreciate it.
No doubt, bro. You deserve it, man. You know, we always say when we have somebody in the building, who deserves it, we want to make sure we recognize them. You know, my pops always told me, like, if you hang around people long enough who act like you're not who you are, you'll start believing you're not who you are.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So when we have somebody in the building and we know, okay, he's one of the ones,
appreciate it.
We gotta let him know he's one of the ones. You know what I'm saying?
I humbly appreciate it.
Salute. Thanks for paving the way.
Listen.
You know what I'm saying? So, we like to start our show with this. I know you got the water.
Yep.
You can grab the water. Mm-hmm. Y'all got your glasses. Chris, where you at? You ain't take a shot? Okay, yeah, come on, get in this one then. Huh? Is it in there?
It's right here.
It's right there. Coco holding it up. See that?
What?
Oh,
I didn't know where to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, you guys are.
Yeah. Pour it in there. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it going. All right. Everybody hold their glasses in the air. Repeat after me. I'm not above you.
I'm not above you.
I'm not below you.
I'm not below you.
I'm right here with you.
I'm right here with you.
Let's get it.
That's high quality H2O.
Come on, man. That's high quality H2O. All right, so if you on planet Earth, you know who Benzino is, right?
Man.
But every guest we have, we like to take a walk with the guest.
For sure.
So we're not gonna stay on it too long, pause, but we gonna make sure that we do what we usually do.
Got you.
Okay, so take us back. Who is Benzino, let's say, in high school? Are you the class clown? Are you the bully? Are you the smart kid? Like, what's going on with you back then?
I was the hustler. You know what I'm saying? I went right into high school.
you know, I came out the house probably like 12, 13. My dad was like heavy in the streets. So, kind of got me in the street life early.
Tito.
Yep, Tito.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We call him Schnapps. You know, so when I got to high school, I was already kind of in the street doing my 1-2, my hustling. So, you know, I hit the ground running once I got into high school. I used to, I remember I would have like, you know, I would roll up 100 joints and I would give, there was like I had 7 guys in 7 different high schools.
Damn.
Give them 100 and they bring back 70 and keep 30. That was,
oh shit.
so that was like my first.
Yeah. He was like, go son.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, if I could say that, if the one word can come to me when I got to high school was hustler, you know, I was always, you know, pretty, for my age, pretty, you know, basically bright. I want to call it as far as book smart, you know.
Right.
Could do all the work, but was distracted as most of us are, you know, like, you know, none of us kind of go in school dumb.
Right.
It's just that there's so many distractions of growing up in the hood and stuff. So, but,
right.
you know, my main thing was just hustling. You know, the work wasn't so difficult, but as long as I could hustle in school, I was good.
So so I know your pops was there. Was your mom's around too? Were they?
Yeah. My mom was, you know, she wasn't with the street stuff. You know, like it's kind of crazy because my dad was super street.
Right.
Super, like.
So he was official
in the
gangster.
fine world. Yeah. You know? And then my mother was a hardworking Cape Verdean woman who just, I don't even know how they got together because, yeah, man.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, man. You know, my mom's a Catholic woman. And, man, it just real kind of like, business, really, you know what I'm saying? She didn't play around too much, you know.
Right. But, any, brothers, sisters? Yeah, 2 sisters?
I got, well, you know, I'm my only child from my mother and father.
Oh, damn.
Right. But I got 2 sisters on my mother's side and about 10 to 12 that I know of on my father's side.
Damn.
Yeah, Schnapps, man. Schnapps was something.
Damn.
Else,
you know all of them? You know all?
No, I met, it's funny because I met half of them probably like when I was about 18. And my father was like, look, I need to, and it was funny because my sister April, I had went to summer school with her and didn't even know she was my sister. My father said, well, yeah, I want to introduce you to your sister April. And then I went and met her. She was working at CVS. And I was like, then we looking at each other like, man, we know each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? My little brother Porky on my father's side, he just came home. So, you know what I'm saying? Salute to Pork.
Welcome home, Pork.
For sure.
That's in Boston, right?
Yeah, the Bloody Bean, man. Roxbury, Dorchester. You know, I mean, we started Roxbury, South End, but Boston, that's where I'm from, for sure.
Now, every time I think of Boston, like, I always think of like it being wild out there and like crazy racism. Is it like that for real?
Absolutely.
That's what whenever I see Boston, I think of that. Like, I don't even want to go over there.
You just hit it right on the nail. You know, it's wild. The hoods of Boston are wild, but it's definitely one of them, not just racist cities, I think, like in the North, but in the whole country. Racist. Because you got to realize, you know, Boston is it's an old, you know, it was probably one of the first incorporated cities and towns in America, you know. So that's old money. That's where the Pilgrims came and Plymouth Rock, you know.
Right.
The whole, man, you know, remember Plymouth Rock landed Plymouth Rock landed on us.
Right. Landed on us.
The crazy thing is that in Plymouth, when you go there, the Rock is there, right?
Really?
But it, you know, I remember because when we was kids, like in, 4th grade, 5th grade, 3rd grade, they would take us to Plymouth Plantation.
Oh, shit.
This was like every year. This was one of our, what do you call it? When you go, you know, on your school trips, your field trip.
Right.
And it was like this huge area, like a little town where everybody kind of like were pilgrims. They were like reenacting it. So, you know, the Rock is there. It's like a little small rock right by the water or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, they got you know, Plymouth is, I mean, Boston's a racist city. There's no question about it.
Damn. So did you go through racism yourself as a kid? Like,
yeah, man.
Calling you nigga and all that?
Yeah, all that. It was segregated. You know, in Boston in the 70s, you know, I'll be 60 in July. So I got to live, I appreciate it.
What did you eat?
I appreciate it.
Right?
They just, yeah, man, I just try to stay in shape.
I didn't know you was that.
But like, I got to see the 70s and the 70s in Boston, you know, when you're watching TV and you're watching like the civil rights movement, most of the stuff that you're watching with the guys fighting and
the water
hoses, that's usually in black and white.
Right.
So in Boston, it was segregated, you know, you're Irish over here, you're Italian here, you're Jewish here, and there's black here. Black Boston, I would say it expanded, but you want to say it was like anywhere from 15 to 20 mile radius is Black Boston. Dorchester, Roxbury, South End, Mission, Jamaica Plain. But the thing about Boston was there was busing, and they want to take kids out of the hoods and send them to the good schools. You know, just take some black kids and bust them out to the good schools so that they can experience good schools. If you put busing in Boston, you're going to see in the 70s in color where they was taking kids going to schools. They would have to get police escorts because when the buses would ride through them little communities, it'd be like 2,000-3,000 people trying to throw rocks at the buses. Little 5-year-old kids sticking up middle fingers. Like they was breeding them kids to be racist. It's all on YouTube now. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because it's in color.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and the thing is, people really didn't know that. They didn't really know how racist Boston was. When you see Boston, you think about Boston, you might look at a Celtics game. All you see is white people.
Right. You
don't even see black people. A lot of people didn't even really know that there was a hood up there.
Right.
But they do that on purpose. Like they keep all the crime and all the killings kind of out the newspapers because that's not what they want their city to represent.
Business.
And, yeah, man. But you know, I mean, you get caught in South Boston late night, man. You know, you're going to get jumped. You're going to get beat up. You could get killed. Same thing though, if they get
caught over in our spot.
It would be the same thing. Yeah. Like, so, I got my first year of high school. We was in a kind of like a little race war. I got stabbed, on the bus.
9th grade.
Yep. 9th grade. I ended up getting kicked out and,
You got kicked out because you got stabbed?
Boston Tech. Yeah. Well, I just remember it was a bunch of us in the buses we got on. This wasn't the yellow ones. It was the regular buses, the MBTA. So I remember the first day, there was a bunch of white guys, bunch of us, and then we got into a fight. The next day, these dudes got on the bus and they had knives. They was ready. And dude had nunchucks. You ever see us?
Nunchucks?
Remember the nunchucks?
Yeah.
Oh, no, like,
Yes. It was
and
they had so much different brass knuckles, all kinds of shit.
Ninja Turtles.
We was caught off guard, bro. And you know what I'm saying? I got stabbed. And it was like my first time, like, really catching a bad one. I had been chased, but never necessarily been caught. And that was like the first time that, so we all, not just we got kicked out, the white kids got kicked out.
Okay.
Yeah, man, it was an experience. If it wasn't for my father and me dealing with the guys that the Italian guys, the mob, the Irish mob, I would have probably had a really, really worse look on white people because once I started working with him and, he got locked up and he would send me, then I would be doing work for him and I'm working with these guys. And I had a really great relationship with these men and these men kind of helped raise me.
Right.
So if it wasn't for like the crime aspect of my life dealing with white people, I would have thought all white people were racist.
Right.
Cause in Boston, that's how you
That's
grow
how
up,
it was. Damn, bro. So dealing with violence that early in your life. And then just me being a fan and knowing like a lot of your backstory, a lot of the wars you've been in and, the stuff that you hear about you laying people down, whatever the situation is.
Blessed.
This young, how's that affect your mental health as an adult? Like, because I know it's a lot of people out there who have done violence to people and who have got violence done to them and they still have these nightmares. They still go through mental health, but they ain't going to see no therapist, none of that. You don't deal with mental health issues?
No, listen. I mean, honestly, like when you're growing up like that, it's just part of life. You're not necessarily understanding that this isn't normal.
Right.
This is the way of life. And it's, especially if your pops is co-signing it, you're not looking at it, but as I've gotten older, maybe the last 10, 15 years, I've realized it has affected my mental health, I've been living with it for so long and it's been normal, going to a lot of wakes. We used to average 120 murders in that little 20-mile radius. And
120 a year?
A year. And Boston was bad. It just, when they put out the top cities the reason why we never made it was because they didn't base it on, it's based on per capita. So Boston is a city, right? So you have your Irish in South Boston, your Italians in East Boston, and you just have this little part where the black people are, right? Just like in probably every major city. So the only thing is that if Roxbury was its own city, then we would have been like top 5 every year. Like you see in Miami, once they broke it up, it's like 22 different municipalities, I think. That's when Carol City, or what they call it now. What's Carol City called now?
Miami Gardens.
Miami Gardens. That's when
No, he still called Carol.
Well, Cal City, but that's when Cal City Miami Gardens started being number 1 for a long time because they had their own police force. So now it's going per capita in that area. See, if we did that, if Roxbury had its own police force and broke away, we would have been the same thing. If it was just one municipality, just Miami, then Cal City wouldn't have made. You understand what I'm saying? It would have been a bigger place with more people to base it over. So Boston was always dangerous. Look, you know, I grew up and, you know, I don't like to, you know, a lot of times when you're on the internet, people glorify violence and they make it seem like it's, but, you know, I've seen like, you know, at a young age, a lot of like, trying to find the right, you know, like really gory stuff, you know.
No, for sure.
A friend of mine, you know, like back in the days, there wasn't no, like, nines and everything. You know, everybody had pump shotguns. So if you got hit with a pump, especially if it was sawed off,
You losing a limb, son.
not only that though, like my man, you know, half his head got taken off. Face, my man Rock in my group, you know, he died in my arms. You know, I mean, it's,
Damn.
it was a
How old were you then?
I mean, I was probably like
20s.
I started seeing like death like maybe about 15 all the way, you know, and it was to the point where I didn't even want to go to no more wakes. I can't do it no more. Like a lot of my friends, but it was almost like I got numb in my 20s. I necessarily never cried too much. I necessarily didn't, like if somebody died, it was just, you know, we back on the block tomorrow. Not that we didn't miss them, but it was just so normal that it became like, it just didn't necessarily affect me. And then now later on, I noticed there's situations I get in, man, and I just ball out because, man, I didn't know it. But then I realized like, you know, I got traumas and I got, you know what I'm saying, from back then, but I never knew it back then. It was just a part of life, man.
You never, as an adult, got into any therapy, none of that?
Well, when I started doing reality TV, most of the reality TV I was doing had therapists.
Oh, really?
Well, other than Loving Hip Hop, of course.
Right.
You know, right? But like when I went on Marriage Boot Camp and,
Oh, that was
Love Goals, there was a few other ones where, you know, they'd have a therapy session. And to be honest with you, that's where I did get help. I kind of started figuring things out at these reality shows when I was in there because, you know, you go in there with your partner and, you know, it's, you know, y'all are arguing, y'all are going through it. But I really was trying to get therapy for self.
For real?
Not necessarily for like relationship therapy.
Right.
Just, what the hell's the matter with me? Yeah. Because I didn't know anything was wrong until I started hitting my adult age. My adult, you know, and when you say adult, like people think you in your 20s, you're an adult. Like, sure, you have adult situations, but your brain necessarily isn't developed enough to be a full adult, even in your 20s.
right.
I realized like you realize so much as you get older. You know what I'm saying? That I necessarily wasn't, I was doing adult things from the street perspective, but my brain wasn't developed as an adult.
As
you
a
know what I'm
real
saying?
adult.
And I realized that now, like I was doing a lot of like, you know, in my 30s, still doing stuff that wasn't adult,
Right.
wasn't mature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So in our community, in our culture, it might not be the same ways to be an adult as somebody else's culture. But when you're growing up in the street, you know, as a young man, you know, you can't be weak. You don't want to show weakness.
Exactly.
You know, you know, and then the thing with my father, like the things he taught me, you know, even though a lot of these guys, a lot of these older guys, these mob guys and stuff, even though they're doing crime and violence and, you know, it happens, there are still principles and codes in there that really have still influenced my life today.
As a man.
For the good, as a man.
Yeah.
And, you know, man, I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you don't see that in this generation. And if you don't have a strong adult figure, and not necessarily they have to be in the streets to have these codes, you could be a working man. You know, you just gotta, there's no gray area. You know right, you know wrong. There's no sense in debating what's in the gray area. You know, you just have to be true to yourself.
That's powerful.
You know, and I had to be true to myself.
That's powerful. I meant to do this at the beginning, but before we go on, Ash, Camille, we got you something custom
Oh, dope.
From the M3S3 brand.
Oh, okay.
www.m3srepair.com.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This
this gold I got on now. I'm wearing this back on the plane.
That's what I want. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hold on. If you don't want to hold on, they can put it back over there for you.
No,
we just wanted to give it to you on camera.
You know.
Yeah.
I can put it here.
Salute. Salute.
What is can you tell me the significance real quick?
So it's 3 M's. Men make moves.
Okay.
It's 3 S's. Suckers stand still.
Okay.
Chess piece means move like a king. Be strategic.
Okay.
Like you were saying, those morals, those principles, those codes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Move like a king. And for the females, you know, move like a queen.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it.
No doubt. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Sure.
So we're gonna switch gears a little bit, right? So 50 put up a post of you recently, right? Now this is something that happened back in 2014 with, you know, where you got shot by your nephew, right?
For sure, yeah.
So my first question is there something with you and 50 as to why that would be posted now and it happened so long ago?
No, I mean, you know, at this point, see, the thing with 50 is, I mean, it goes back to the Eminem beef. Me and Fifth wouldn't even have any issues if it wasn't for Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Like when me and M started going at it, it was really him and Ja. But M had got signed. I mean, he just got signed by Eminem. Me and M's going at it. And then by coincidence, man, I just had kind of like moved next door to Ja Rule.
Oh, shit.
So, you know, me and Ja, like when 50 and Ja was beefing, that's block beef. That's neighborhood beef, really, before it was industry beef. I didn't know neither one of them.
Oh, okay.
I had not met neither one of them. But then there was a time where actually when Fifth had got stabbed at the Hit Factory, you know, I told the story where I had helped him, called him a car service. He had ran down to my session. That was the first time I met him.
When that shit happened, he ran down to your studio?
Right. He was on 54th Street. He was at the Hit Factory. It's a well-known studio. Everybody uses all the labels. Murder Inc. was there. So when the beef happened with Fifth and his guys there with Murder Inc., and he had got stabbed and there was a fight there, I was at Sony, and Sony is like maybe 30 yards down the block. Right. And I remember this was late night. I was in there, was with the Made Men, my group Made Men. And one of the guys was outside smoking cigarettes, you know, cause they don't let you smoke cigarettes in the studio. And, all of a sudden he had brought Fifth in, and, you know, we got rules, you know what I'm saying? So I really wasn't too happy about that.
Like, who is this?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, like we in the studio, you know what I'm saying? And, but he came in, he was cool. He had told me, you know what I'm saying, what happened. Said that they had gone to a beef, and, you know, I wasn't like, really what? I just was pretty much still like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, listen, I don't want to be in the middle of nothing. Whatever's going on, I don't, you know, you know what I'm saying? That's how you survive, man.
Right. You can't just get in.
You just can't get into everything. So he showed me the gun. He said the gun had no bullets in it. His man dropped the gun. He had like a revolver, a little small revolver. And he said that his man, I guess it was Yayo, when they was fighting, he dropped the gun. He picked the gun up. The gun had no bullets in it. So he showed us that. He was kind of mad about that. And then he had a little cut on the side.
What? Okay, go ahead.
Well, he had,
It's a scare tactic.
he had,
Like I was just saying, like, why wasn't any?
You gonna fear
Blood.
more
Yeah,
so
blood.
than any other gun, because the revolver keeps the shells. So if I run up on you, all you know is gun.
it didn't work though.
But why not?
It didn't work.
It ain't gonna work in a real situation. So
It didn't work because, you know, I mean, when he pulled it out, he looked like he was mad at Yayo than anything. He looked like, you know, he had the gun and they was fighting. They dropped it and 50 picked it up. So I know when he probably went to pick it up, he probably thought it had some bullets and okay, I can get up out of here and, you know what I'm saying, get niggas up off me. But he said that he was just like, he looked disappointed.
Right.
Right. And then he showed me the cut and I said, yeah, all right. And, at the time, you know, I'd owned the Source magazine. We had our own car service. Atlantic car service, and I called him a car service and took it to Bellevue. You know, so, you know, but I would have did that for any of y'all. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it was something so great that I did. It's just that, you know, I was able to do it.
Right.
I had a car service. I don't know if he had any money. There wasn't no Ubers around back then. You know, in order to get it in New York, you just can't call a taxi. You got to go out there to get the taxi and hail it down, you know?
So you don't want to be outside.
But, you know, we called our car service. They had the little Lincolns or whatever. So he took them. As time went on and I beefed with Eminem, it just so happened that, and I didn't know John when that happened. It just so happened I lived like almost next door to him.
Yeah.
So like our kids went to school together and everything. And then we ended up kind of, when I was with Coi's mother, his wife and Coi's mother got close, and then me and Ja got naturally cool. And then I guess it looked like it was me and him teaming up against him and 50.
Right.
You know, but it was really just all by coincidence. It's not like we got together.
But he took it personally and you don't even know 50.
I didn't even know. I mean, I met him that one time and that was it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, me and Eminem's beef was like a rap beef that turned into a Source Interscope beef, right?
Right.
Because those was our companies. But 50 and Ja's beef was block beef, You know,
Really?
people got shot.
Yeah.
Niggas is getting on, you know what I'm saying? Chains was taken and all kind of fights. This shit had been going on. That was a personal situation. I'd never even, to this day, I haven't even been in the same room with Eminem. I've never even met Eminem. So it just was weird how everything happened. You know, me and Ja ended up getting super cool. I went on tour with him, opened up for him all over the world. You know what I'm saying? I got kind of close to a lot of his guys from the street in Queens, a lot of his guys, you know, that nobody knows and sees. But, you know, we had, you know, until I moved, but we was pretty close.
Y'all cool now, you and Ja?
Yeah. You know, we cool, but I haven't seen John in a minute, you know. I haven't seen John in a long time, but yeah, man.
So 50, and I get it. Okay, so it makes more sense to me now because I see how 50 handle anybody who go against Eminem. Right. So now I guess I get it now. I'm just online. I'm like, damn, why?
Well, see, yeah, it's not the first time. I mean, he, you know, I mean, I guess it used to bother me like at first, but you know, as time went on and me understand what this internet is, it does. I mean, I've changed so much as far as my emotions and gearing them towards shit that just doesn't matter. And what people say on the internet. I mean, listen, I don't know. There's too many artists or people that get, you know, they call it trolled, but it's, you know, I call it disrespect. And, you know, Eminem got a huge fan base, white fan base. And for like 20 years,
They on you.
I mean, I probably got about 15 pages shut down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I used to
You was at a mill.
That was
yeah.
I remember you was at a over a mill.
Yeah, but you know what? And again,
So Eminem's fan base shut the paint.
They're constantly dogging me out. And if I see, this was what it was. I didn't know nothing about this. Like when social media first came, I remember it was Twitter or maybe MySpace. I don't know. I just remember somebody say some shit. I'd be like, look, I'll meet you right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You still do that. I see you.
Well, you know, but I'm saying it's back then it was every car that went, I'm barking. You know what I'm saying? Every car that came by, I'm barking, you know, cause I didn't know I'm a street guy and people are disrespecting and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. All right, well, we can meet up. So I would go to the place and sit there and sit and nobody would show up. So like, you know,
You would argue with them and schedule somewhere to meet,
and then you go. I probably want to
Benzino, as big of a star you would pull up and
strapped up. Strapped up every time.
Crazy.
Sometimes with guys, sometimes by myself. But I didn't realize how much of a fool I was and how stupid I was doing that. Like that was just.
Those are just internet bullies, mostly.
But you know, but back then when you first on it, and even now when you're a street guy, all we got and all we're raised to do is just, you know, respect. And I feel like in my life, I've never been a bully. Like I'm so cool. I'm such a people person that.
But when it happened, you go.
I just feel like, why me? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, so now as time goes on, I've gotten better, but I still could be in a not too good mood today. And then somebody say the wrong shit. And I'm like, and this is the thing. It's like, as a man, you're on the internet and it's like when you see grown ass men, we talking grown men with kids, sons, adult kids come on your page and comment on your appearance. It just makes you think like, man, where are we as a society?
It's definitely over.
It's like, where did these guys, like, where was their Where was there strong male figures in their life?
Right.
Now I had one. I was lucky to have one, though he was locked up. My dad did 15 years. Another, you know what I'm saying? But the times he was out, we got close. And as he got older than me and him, and we still are like this. He's my, but it's like, where do men come on, just go on? I've never done that in all the years.
Yes.
Just come on a page and just shit on you on the way you look. Just how, I don't understand that.
Shit is public.
I'm still trying to wrap
I'm still trying to wrap my.
Y'all more accessible now. So, you know, I don't think it got nothing to do with a male figure, because I damn sure go on one of them pages and ragdog any celebrity if I see him.
So you do that? You do that?
No, I'm saying, like, you know, I'm a natural funny guy.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't give a fuck about your appearance, but I've been doing this for
Funny shit. I understand.
Doing that.
No, I got
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm glad you said that. Let me ask you a question. So when you're doing it, so are you doing it
on some funny shit?
On some funny shit. But is the funny shit to, like, okay, so is the funny shit to make the guy feel bad and other people laugh at the guy, right? I mean, not
in somewhat form. So if, let's say,
Make them feel
how I was raised, you know what I'm saying? Like, you had to be fly every day.
Right.
So let's say, like, 50 Cent, I get on 50 Cent too.
Right.
I'm a 50 Cent fan.
Right.
I'm a fan of yours. I'm a fan of
right. No, I understand.
But if y'all look any kind of crazy,
right, then you'll rag on it.
Benzino, these motherfucking jobs.
I got you. I got you. No, I got you. But, like,
it's another level when they're like, "I'll kill you, man." Where you
see, I don't do it. See, that's a sick.
That's different.
Yeah, that's
no. I could go on my shit right now, and I'm guaranteeing I ain't looked at it in about an hour, that somebody's saying some crazy shit about it.
Yeah, I'll be seeing it.
It's just nonstop. And then like I said, after a while, I just said, you know what?
Fuck it.
I just blocked. I probably got over maybe 2,000 people on block. Real talk. I got a long list of blocks, man.
So let me ask you this, right? It's been a long time, right? And you still kind of, I guess, feeling the effects of M.
Of course.
Beef, right?
Yeah, man.
Do you ever regret it?
Nah, I don't live with regrets. I really don't. I believe that every part of your journey, right? And again, I'm only thinking like this because you start thinking like this when you guys reach 60. I'm sure you're going to think like this.
Yeah.
Every part of your journey is what it was because of a reason. And if one thing back goes different, even the bad stuff, it could have changed so much things. I just don't live with regrets. And first of all, regrets can depress you.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I gotta be in my best mind state now. If you're going to get money, you can't be running around here mad about something that took place that you have no control over now about.
Somebody told me that when you complain and you always talking about your regrets and you always complaining, that you actually praying to the devil. I was like,
I could see that. You know, because you're always
sitting on it like,
you're always in a negative state.
Elaborate on that.
But the past is never ever coming back. Not just the bad stuff, even the good stuff. Like
right.
it might be good to reflect, but I don't want to sit around niggas all day and talk war stories about what you did and what you did. What can we do now? Right. Let's put those thoughts to now. And if it is something in the past, are we talking about it so we can help us now?
Right.
Because I think us as a people we smoke weed and we just want to go into the war stories. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's good to remember who you are, but at some point it has to be about now. You only got a few hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So if you reflecting on the past, whether it's good or bad, if it's not affecting now, then you should just let it go. And I notice females, I know it's a lot of females, females have a hard time letting go of the past.
They do. Y'all do, yo.
You gotta be careful.
No,
it's 3 tricks.
Y'all do.
Yeah. No. Females, from my experience, females' mental health really has to deal with a lot about the past. And I notice that it's hard for them to shake the past.
Right.
Like sometimes you can watch a female actually just sitting there thinking about the past. You could look at them staring somewhere.
Like, yo, where you at right now?
You know what I'm saying? and it affects them in such a negative way.
Yeah.
And I just, you know, I've been able to cope because I could just shake it. I could just trash it like a computer and get it out of there. And that's been my superpower, is to really forget about all issues and problems.
You had a moment that was powerful on Drink Champs, man. You broke down crying and you was like,
oh man, I was toasted.
You was
that's why you see him. This is my white. This is the white.
That's why you wanted. Okay, kind of like what a drink. Like to give you some juice. So you was like, I don't hate Eminem, and you was like,
Yeah, I don't.
You say you don't hate him. So the public feels like if you don't hate him, why you keep reigniting the beef?
Well, see, now think about it. Like,
cause Rap L was fire.
Well, right, but that was just the answer from him just coming out the blue, making another song about me and then mentioning my daughter, mentioning Coi. And it was like, this is 20 years and you're making another diss song about me?
That was unprovoked?
Yeah, that was the
I remember the song here, the yellow one.
Yeah, then I made 2 songs, but I'm like, it's not even Eminem, it's his fan base, man. It's like Eminem, so you gotta understand, right? White people, okay? White people want a seat at the table, the hip hop table.
Right.
Their only seat for these past 20 something years has been Eminem. I mean, a strong seat at the table has been him. And they're trying to hold on to that seat as long and strong as possible because after him, they don't have a seat anymore. At least they thought. See, hip hop is an all-inclusive type of culture. Hip hop accepts everybody.
Right.
But it was made by black people and there was Latino people along the way. You know, in the South Bronx it was made from the streets, from the work. If y'all seen what the South Bronx was in the 70s, that's what hip hop was made from. And now it's a multi-trillion-dollar industry. And, you know, when you have white people, a lot of white people in America, and we see this like with the Trump situation. I don't know if y'all realize it or not, but the cities of America where you grow up around white people, that's not the majority. The majority of white people are living in the woods, in the mountains, in the rural areas of the country that you'll never ever see. You do not see these people and they don't see us. They stay up there where they're at and we stay where we're at in the city. We're only coming across the white guys that live in the city and those are different white people. Those are different. They're more business. They're more, city white people are different from the white guys that are coming from the Appalachian Mountains and Kentucky and Wisconsin and the Midwest. They are a different tribe of people. Not saying they're bad at all, but they deal with themselves. They don't have to deal with us. So you got white people that just listen to Eminem just because he's white. They're not even into hip hop. They're not even into black people. Facts. So when they're championing Eminem and when they're online, they're championing white supremacy more than they are hip hop. Now you do have hip hop heads that love them, but the majority, and I know this because this has been affecting my life. If anybody knows, it's me. The majority, a lot of these white people out here, when they come on and they want to debate or they want to argue with somebody about hip hop, they go harder than anybody. They're disrespectful. They really don't respect the culture. Never mind respect us as a people, but just respect the culture of hip hop and the messages and what he's rapping about, how it really doesn't affect how we live.
Right.
And listen, that doesn't make him wrong. And if he has a demographic of people that he represents, fine.
You feel the industry protects him?
Of course. At the beginning, now it doesn't matter. I think with the internet, it just doesn't matter anymore. But back then, of course, they protected him because they knew that if they could get a white rapper for white America, the billions it would make. I mean, Eminem has made a lot of money for Universal Records. There's no question about it.
So you hold Universal accountable, or do you hold the fans accountable for it?
I mean, you know what? It's just society in general. You know, it's our society. We live in America where it's white and black. Okay. And it reflects in the Eminem situations the same. It reflects it because, like I say, I would be honest if I say, look, his fans are hip hop fans and it's cool, but his fans just deal with him because he's white. They just want to come on. Like a lot of people that really don't like me are like white Canadian people, right? White Canadian people. Like, you know, how they look at hip hop and how they look at life isn't the same way I look at life. Like they grew up fishing, hunting, outdoors. And, you know, I grew up selling drugs hand to hand. You know what I'm saying? Running from police, shooting, getting shot. I mean, it's a different way of life. There's no question about it. But these people will look at it and be like, oh, you think you tough or you ain't. Listen, I'm not saying I am. You know what I'm saying? Just leave me the fuck alone, you know? And I'll do the same. Like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not jumping on your page like, oh man, you fishing, so you a sucker.
Right.
I'm not. Because because you like fishing. Like,
You're right.
so
Eminem would never fish.
see, but look at the Donald Trump thing. Now, I don't want to stay on this, but Donald Trump, the majority of white people that voted for him are not. Donald Trump grew up in the city of New York, the city. He didn't grow up in the woods. So he's not that type of white man. His voters couldn't be more different than anything. I mean, they are not, he doesn't represent anything that they go through. I mean, these are people that they're about family, of course. They're about outdoors. Of course, they're about hunting, fishing, living off the land. Right. You know what I'm saying? But their thing is family. They don't have clubs to go to like we go to, you know.
Right.
We make struggle and poor look good.
Right.
So they didn't know about it. They didn't know about that back then, but now since they got the internet, they're looking at us like, wait a minute.
Right.
This is how they living?
Yeah.
Shit, what are we doing that? And that's what's bringing even more of a gap. You would think that it would be more together. There's more of a gap now than there ever been. So even the election shows that. And then when Eminem, it doesn't support Trump, well, now you're throwing a glitch in the matrix. Because you got all these white people that support him, but he don't support them. So they're kind of confused, right? They don't know what the fuck they're going through right now.
Right.
So that's all it really is.
Now be real. Right. I probably don't need to say that because you known for just saying how you feel.
Yeah, man.
You ever, before y'all even got into it, was listening to Eminem?
Never.
Like never. Even when he was,
hell no.
When he was, what is it? My name is, or whatever
Slim Shady.
Slim Shady.
Oh,
you was never ever.
I'm Ghetto Boys, Eazy-E, NWA.
Right. So when he first dropped, he was like, what is
Public
this?
Enemy, I mean, X-Clan, Ice Cube, Jungle Brothers. I can go through so many, and there's nothing the matter with Eminem. Like, go ahead, white boy rap.
Right.
I just don't listen to that shit. I don't listen to it. I don't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
Right.
You listen to him?
Yeah, I listen to him.
I do.
But I have, but look at, Stan was
fire. Stan was fire.
I think Renegade. I think he gave Jay-Z the business in Renegade.
EJ?
I think he did.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, so
that's fine. So that shows me something that you can say that.
Of course. The man can rap, but I just don't listen to Elevator, Masturbator. I don't. That's not the type of hip hop that I'm in.
Elevator, masturbator.
See,
is that an actual bar?
See, when you grow up in the streets, you pretty much listen to rap that is that is kind of truth about your life and which you
can relate to.
That's what you can relate to. I just can't relate to anything. It is not just, guess what? It's not just him. There's black rappers I can't relate to the shit that they do. So it just ain't that. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a color thing.
I want to step on your shit. What you had? Because you felt like it was important.
I listened to Third Base.
Remember that? I mean, I just wanted to ask, was it any of the diss songs you heard from him towards you that you like, yo, this motherfucker?
Oh, I mean, the Sauce was a hard, I mean, pretty much was it Nail in the Coffin? That was a hard joint.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. Come on, man. I mean,
I think that shows you logical then. It's not emotion or logic. You really logical with what you saying because you can give it out.
Talent.
Yeah.
Right.
The man got talent. But when you listen to the racist tapes and the racist songs he make against black women. Crazy.
When they trying to say that was AI, but that was crazy. You had the tapes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way before
listen, 3 white guys showed up at the Source magazine. I was in Puerto Rico. Dave called me like, yo, this is why we beefing. It's like, listen, his rap group showed up with the tapes and said, we've been trying to sell these for the last year. And it was when they was making the Rap Racist Hour.
Right.
And this is when he first started before he met any black kids or hanging around black kids. He's from St. Paul, Missouri. He's not from Michigan. He moved from St. Paul, Missouri when he was 11. You know, it was predominantly white, mother white, father, mother white. There was no black, nothing. Him and his guys used to rap and make the Rap Racist Hour. And on the Rap Racist Hour, he was calling us porch monkeys. He was black girls are bitches. They only want you for your money. It was just a lot of, he used the word nigga a lot. I mean,
somebody came out and say he battled Eminem. He said Eminem was the first white boy to call me a nigga.
Well, I mean,
who said that?
You ain't seen on I think it was Math podcast. One of the guys
Math and all of them love him so much. They
laughed it off too. It's crazy.
Like
the actual person came on there and said it.
The actual person say the first person, white man that called me a nigga was Eminem when I battled him.
Look, a lot of guys respect Eminem because of the craft, and there's a lot of guys who are into that, right? That type of rap. I just never was. We grew up in an RSO Made Men, a gangster rap group out of Boston, and we was making songs like NWA. That was how
Tommy's theme.
You know what I'm saying? Mm. We was always making stuff about streets and stuff like that. So I just didn't grow up like that. But once we started battling, of course, I'm the Source magazine. I put a whole investigation on him as far as let's find out where he really is, where's he from. And we found a lot of stuff out. I bought the tape for $15,000. You know what I'm saying? I gave him like two of the dudes is dead, by the way, you know, that sold the tape that came to the Source are dead. So I bought the tape.
We ain't gonna speed past that now.
Yeah, the facts.
Benzino.
Two of the guys that brought the tape.
After they got the tape.
This was years later. They're both dead. You know what I'm saying? There's one.
Now, you can say I don't want to answer this if you don't want to answer. Mm-hmm. You feel like they got wiped out because of this? Zeno, you ain't got Zeno. You want to answer it, Zeno? No.
Listen. It's a great
don't want him to say that.
You would be a fool if you didn't have a conspiracy theory in your head like that. You know what I'm saying?
So when you said it, that's, the way it was.
How
the way it was set on the table.
I mean, the guy was worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. When you have money like that, you can do things, but I don't think it's in him.
You don't think it's in Eminem?
I don't think it's in
him. Eminem sent nobody to get them out of here?
I don't think so. Okay. But like I said, we bought it for $15,000 and, they ended up suing us. We had to go to federal court. Because Interscope sued us. Now, first, they tried to say it wasn't him on the thing, but then they said, we're suing you for copyright infringement, which means that they admitted that it was him.
Right.
We was going to shrink wrap it and put it with the Source cover, and they sued us, and we had to go to court. We won a landmark decision in federal court. They had to pay $250,000 to our lawyers. Yeah, Interscope and Eminem.
Yeah.
See,
so that's kind of sane.
Before we put out the tape, I had three meetings with Jimmy Iovine. The first meeting, I brought my father because Jimmy Iovine people was always like, yeah, he's gangster and he's with the mob. And
your pops there's like,
well, let me bring my father and let's see how much mob he really is. You know, cause my father's from New York. You know what I'm saying? So
he respected too.
Jimmy's thing was, look, Marshall, you know, he was like, you know, you can't save the world, meaning me. Cause I'm saying, listen, hip hop is about black people and we don't need this type of thing. And what's going to happen is the white people, you're going to have a big white audience. And what's going to happen is white people are just going to buy his stuff. And then everything I said was going to happen, happened. Right. And so, you know, that was a major thing for us. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy said, I'll give you your own label. And I'll give the Source your own label. And that was worth a couple of $1 million at the time. If you don't put the tape out. I said, this is a true story. I said, well, look, get him in the room with me. I just want to have a conversation with him. I just want to be able to meet him and see where his head's at. Because even though I was an artist, we were still the Source magazine.
Benzino though, be real. If he'd have came in the room with you at that Benzino back then.
Not because I was, I mean, unless he
respected you in person.
Shit. Right. Other than that, I felt it would have been a great conversation and great for white kids to see him because he never ever, everything that he went through, he always had people stick up for him where he never had to answer to anything.
Right.
Like he doesn't go on nobody's podcast. You see him on he doesn't have to answer to nothing. Everybody in our culture is held to the fire, but except him.
You got a point with that?
Think about it. I want to think.
You got a point with that?
I mean, I faced every firing squad known to man and every question known to man.
Tricks.
No, he said
every gay accusation, you know what I'm saying? Like all kinds of shit about me.
That adds to his.
He's never responded.
Like not only he's never responded, but he will not go on no black man's podcast. I mean, he went on Sway, but
He went on Sway.
Sway is Sway, but big up to Sway, but Sway's not black in the sense of.
Hold on.
No, I'm not saying that. No. Sway is like the gatekeeper for white hip hop, for all the white fans. It is what it is. Shit,
Sway is the gatekeeper
because he was the leader of Shady 4-5.
Oh, right. That's
what I'm saying. So it's a safe place.
He's saying don't count because that's still directly connected because he's on Shade 4-5.
Come on with it. Come on, Kay.
That's just
So even if he did, it still could be chopped
that's
and
just like
edited.
Hot 97 and Jay.
Right.
Listen, Hot 97 and Flex and Angie went against me, right? The only one who didn't, God rest the dead, was K Slay. Every single DJ up there turned their back on me. And mind you, me and Dave had been spending money with them and everything was beautiful. So, but K Slay was the only one, but I remember he pulled me aside. He was like, listen, man, I'm up at Shady, man. I can't play your music up there, but man, you know what I'm saying, man? I'm just letting you know, man, I'm gonna put you on my mixtapes. I mean, it's all good.
Right.
And I understood it and it was love.
Right.
So the way he handled it was like a man. The way Flex handled it, Flex and Angie, they just jumped on his nuts like everybody else. The whole industry did. You know what I'm saying? Even if they thought a certain way about him, they wasn't going against him for sure.
Right.
So, you know, it was almost like, you know, I stuck up for black women. I stuck up for black.
Okay. So hold on. Before we go there, you said it. So I wanted to go there. Right. There was a point where you had said something about black women that they all was on your ass. I forgot what it was.
Was it the R. Kelly thing?
Was it the
Yeah, it was the R. Kelly. I just said that R. Kelly, I said that I felt that he deserves another chance. I don't think he needs to rot in jail for life for the shit he did. I believe that everybody deserves another chance. God said everybody deserves second chances. And then I brought up the fact, and man, we'll open up this Pandora's box, but I mentioned the fact that, and this is a Pandora's box, but man, I just, you know, a lot of women, when you look at it, right? Women 14, 15, a lot of women have lost their virginity in their teens. Okay. How old were you when you lost your virginity?
What? Let's just focus on
Anybody brave enough? All right. 17.
Well, let me ask you a question.
It's over? Okay.
Do y'all know women that lost their virginity at 14? Okay. Okay, right?
Sure.
And it's a pretty common thing, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, you didn't answer.
That's why I gave her 5.
So you heard what she said, right?
Who?
She said that I asked her, I said, do y'all know, if you don't have to say this, but do you know friends or family that lost their virginity at 14? And they said, yeah.
Yeah.
And they said it, yeah, because it's a normal thing.
Right.
So that means that whoever had sex with them people at that age, they all should be in jail then. It's all against the law.
Now, Benzino.
Well, what if it's a 15 and a 14?
Hold on.
You say R. Kelly, he was clapping the 15.
Because I'm saying, like, in a lot of states, 16-year-old is the age, right? Miami's 18, right? Most of the states,
Miami,
a lot,
18?
yeah, 18 years old here. That's the age here. That's
Out
the
of Miami, I know.
No, the legal age is 18 years old. If you go under the age, you are not supposed to. Yeah. The legal age is 18.
I'm somewhere else.
17, you in trouble.
Yeah.
But nobody's going to take you to jail because it happens every day and nobody says nothing. And I'm not saying that it's right. What I'm saying is, as a culture, we just like to pick people and just hang them. Because you would understand, R. Kelly grew up in the Robert Taylor homes. And I don't know if y'all knew what the Robert Taylor homes and Cabrini Green looked like in the 70s and 80s.
It's great.
I don't know if y'all could even imagine, but that is one of the, I mean, I don't even know if you can't even imagine what it's like growing up in Chicago. In Cabrini Green and Robert Taylor homes. So Robert Kelly wasn't the only one messing with young girls.
But I gotta say this though. As a father,
for sure.
How would you feel if Coi was in?
I would try to kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I would try,
you contradicted it.
But guess what? It still doesn't alleviate the fact that it's common for girls and older guys, even if a guy's 21 and she's 14.
Right.
He's still, by the law, he's doing stuff. Even if he's 19 and she's 14, if he's 18 and she's 14, he's still doing something against the law.
Yeah, I ain't playing that shit.
That's all I'm saying. Like,
Father.
that's a bigger conversation that nobody wants to have.
Has your beef with M affected your relationship with Coi at all?
You know, when Coi first came out, of course, you know, Coi's coming out as an artist and she doesn't want to inherit my beefs. So, and that's understandable.
Right.
Right. So, you know, I can understand it from a professional standpoint, what she was thinking and going through. You know, I was in a peculiar position right there because, you know, I got to stand on I got to stand on what I stand on. And Lord knows that I didn't know that Coi was going to be a huge star. You know what I'm saying?
How do you feel about the public perception, feeling like, making it seem like you jealous of your daughter's success?
It's public perception.
I know.
That's just, again, public perception. That's what it is. You know, it's not reality. You know, the internet is its own world. There's reality, then there's the internet. Mm-hmm. I grew up in reality. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to adapt and adjust to the internet because it's not reality.
Right.
I think, when it was unfortunate that people seen me and my daughter go through, I surely didn't expect that. Who the hell knew? I didn't know that.
As a father, I felt like, damn.
Yeah. You know, it's just more issues that I go through, but you know what I'm saying? I've survived a lot and I can survive that. Listen, I love my daughter to death. I love all my kids. I have 4. Mm. And that was a bad situation for me, man. I didn't like that.
As a father, you had to empathize with you, you know, especially knowing the evils of the internet and what it would do to a relationship.
And the evils of the industry.
Industry as well.
Shit.
We definitely know, because we see what happened with 50 and his son and other individuals in the industry with their children.
Well, people don't realize we're living in a time, it's the first time this ever happened, where this generation and the older generation is all on the same boat. Mm-hmm. Everybody's wearing the same thing, listening to the same music. The women are putting on the eyelashes the same as the young. Everybody is in the same boat. It's never happened like this.
Right.
Before, if you was in a generation under, you would look up and you'd be quiet, and it'd be a separation of what they wear, where they go, what they do.
That's true.
From you. Now, everybody is doing the same thing.
Right.
And it's making it seem like to this generation that we're their equals. And Lord knows we ain't. And you're not supposed to. If you're in your 40s and if you're an equal to somebody in their 20s, there's something the matter with you.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I do agree with you.
Yeah, we can listen to the same songs and we can wear the same sneakers. But if your level of understanding isn't higher than that generation, then
something's wrong with you.
Then you've been stunted.
Mm-hmm. How's your relationship now with your daughter, with Coi?
I mean, honestly, I keep everything to a minimum when it comes about her. I just say, listen, I love her to death. She's about to have a baby. Okay. I'm about to be my any time now this week. And, it's all this is surreal, man. I ain't never, raising kids, internet, the stuff that happened with me and Coi. I don't even know really what to say, to be honest, because there ain't no book that you could read, or there's nothing that I could see that could help me understand how this is happening, the way this is happening. Right. Mm-hmm. I just got to give that to God. Some things you got to give to God and let time take its toll. And
I tell you what you need to do. You need to give Trippie Redd a DDT. Fuck him.
But one thing about him though, she chose him.
No, that's fact.
So, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? What can I?
But as a father, when you heard Coi is dating Trippie Redd, and you see, I'm a father too. I
don't want her dating nobody as a father. It didn't have to be Trippie Redd. It could have been anybody. Like, I never want to meet nobody. I still don't. Unless you marrying my daughter.
Yeah. You ain't good enough.
I don't, my father went and met Trippie. I never went and met him.
Right. Your pops went and met him?
Yeah, he went out there to the house when they was first dating. And he went out there and, I asked him about him. He said, hey, he's cool, but he's my father, but he's a kid. And he calls me Raymond. Raymond, he's a kid. He smokes a lot, man. Ooh, man, my father. Ooh, man, boy, he smokes a lot, Ray. But other than that, he said he was cool. And look, listen, if you're in your 20s and you're filthy rich, right? Mm-hmm. What do you expect, man? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to rag on Trippie or disrespect Trippie, because at 20 something, a multi-millionaire, I mean, what do you expect?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, as long as he keeps his hands to himself.
Now, I was in his comment saying Benzino gonna whoop your ass.
No.
I did.
Listen. As long as there's respect, because I don't follow whatever he says and I don't get into that what's on the internet. They have a baby coming, and, as long as respect for Coi is there, I don't have anything to say, man. I wouldn't say anything bad about him, because at the end of the day, she chose to have a baby by that man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So who am I to double back and disrespect him because they going through it. I just got to just keep my ass out of it and just be there for her if she needs me, and I'm there, and I'll be there like that.
Right. Charleston said something. Charleston White said something. He was like, and I don't know, I wanted to ask you, is this just him talking, or is this something that actually happened? He was like,
this is Charleston White.
It's Charleston White. So he was like, the reason, he said the reason, Benzino's daughter is going through or the way she is or whatever is because he got 5 other children that he don't speak about. Is that just him talking, or is that?
I mean, listen, if I'm a person that's if Charleston White's going something with his daughter, I would be a fool and an ass to put my opinions about him and his daughter, and I know nothing about this man and his daughter. Mm-hmm. So to have an opinion right there shows who he is. Like first of all, I don't have 5 kids. Second of all, I mean, how does he know who I'm talking to? How does anybody know who you're talking to? If you're looking at somebody on the internet, you just don't know what that person is doing. So, you know what I'm saying? Charleston White is a person just like Mitty that wants clicks and comments. You could tell, with Charleston White is like, he goes to the extreme. A lot of these people go to the extreme to get these clicks and comments and attention. You could tell he didn't get too much attention coming up. You could tell the guys that were secure in themselves coming up with women. I always go back to women because everything with us is based around women.
Thank you.
The guys that grew up and didn't get the attention they want, they giving people hell now.
Right.
On the internet. They're mad as hell. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? And don't let them get a little piece of money. Or a little piece of something. Oh boy. Oh man. Yeah, man. But I never had that problem. You know what I'm saying? I've always was a hustler, fly, always good with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? So, Charleston, you could just look at Charleston and just say, yeah, you had it bad coming up.
Right.
So Charleston is getting a little bit of love and attention. He just doesn't know how to handle it like a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take him serious for what he says, the shit he does. He drapes himself in a Confederate flag one day. The next day, he's talking about a dead person's mother. I don't pay people like that attention because in real life, people who do the stuff that Charleston does, they end up getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, Charleston, the one thing I can say about it, when he wants to make sense, he has a good mind.
Right.
And he wants to agree with that. But it's all the other bullshit that he does to me.
He says it's content
that takes it away. And but if you just can't say it's content because, you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's content, this the type of person you want to be seen as and content you want to be known as. Like, come on, man. Like, you're starting more problems in the culture than you are mending and healing it. The same young guys that you've been talking about since you came out, it seems like you want to be them. Because when he first came out, you talking shit about it. Next thing you know, you got all the change. You getting money, you getting gear, you getting drip. You wanted to always be a rapper, but it's like you never could.
That was crazy.
But hold on, but they say in Texas, Charleston was like one of them guys back then or something like that.
Who said that?
I hate to see why you cornering me. Why you cornering me?
Yeah, who said that?
Who said that?
I heard that, bro.
He had him here. Ain't nobody said that.
No, I heard before this. Like he was one of those in Texas. He was
what?
All right, y'all got me.
Yeah,
see, exactly. I hate when y'all do that, bro.
One thing about whatever
you heard it somewhere, nigga.
One thing about it, whatever you are in that hood, that's what you was. Right. So if you really want to find out about something, it's there for you because we all had lives coming up. Not everybody has to be in the streets to be a good guy. Not everybody has to. Unfortunately, we live in a time now where if you're the tough guy, if you're the plug, these are the people everyone's looking up to. But the guy that was working all his life and putting away his 401k and doing great things for his family, no one's talking about that guy. You know what I'm saying? So again, when I see Charleston, when he first came out, his thing was going against these guys, killing each other. But then when I see you talking about people's mothers that are dead, well, that's what the guys are doing to each other. So you're doing the same thing. Now you're getting money, and here you are with the jewelry. Here you are counting money on camera. I've never done that. Like, there's things I've never done. I've had millions of dollars. You ain't never seen me do no dumbass shit like that. And even my son, I have an older son, Ray. He does that dumb shit, and I be on him all the time. Yeah. Like I'm not, I love Ray to death, but I just never, with the money phone and the money number one, you really indicting yourself because you know what I'm saying? The feds is watching all that. You know what I'm saying? And when they looking at all that money, they looking in your taxes. It's the first thing they doing. Yeah, let's look at his taxes. How much money did he make?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and now they looking at the serial numbers now, like with the AI, and you can look at things like see where that money came from. So yeah, like I think
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this, right? You really feel like Killer Season was trash?
Yeah. You didn't think that?
It's like a hood classic, like just as a hood movie though.
Okay, so wait a minute. Hold on. Boys in the Hood was a hood classic.
Right.
That's a hood classic.
You think Killer Season was Boys in the Hood?
Oh, I think it was a classic.
Man,
I did say it was
a hood classic.
I said that, didn't I?
He's trying to figure
Poetic Justice is a hood classic.
where he coming from.
We have hood classics.
Killer Season. Okay, hold on.
Killer Season was the first Tubi movie.
Can I clean it up?
I only remember 2 scenes.
Can I clean it up? No, I don't remember 2 scenes. I remember 2 things. I remember 1 scenes.
What other things?
A lot of scenes. But let me tell you this. Let me clean it up.
Fred,
It wasn't a classic, Benzino. My bad. It wasn't a classic.
Okay, all right.
But it was one of those movies that people would watch.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That movie was horrible.
I ain't never heard nobody say that top 5, top 10.
That movie was garbage.
Talk about that didn't be something.
Listen, the thing with me and Kill is this.
Yeah,
right?
so what's really up with you
I'm
and
glad you
Cam?
brought that up because now
You and Cam, what is it?
So, I'm probably in one of those moods and I see a thing come across where Funk Master Flex says something about me and Killer takes a shot at me. So I remembered it back then. I forgot about it. I didn't even think about it. I was mad about it back then. No, I didn't like that. Like why, I understood why it was the Eminem situation.
Right.
Hot 97, I went up to go talk to Flex, and I went up there with a bunch of guys. I'm strapped up because I thought it was going to be some beef. So we wanted to catch Flex coming out the front. So we found out that there's a side door on Hot 97 that he comes out on. So we waiting right there for him. Here he comes. Sure enough, side door opens up. They slam the side door. I put my, I'm saying? Cause I was a little wild and I was upset about the disrespect because of all I had spent money with Flex with his car shows, bought rims off him. He knew my father produced him the Schnapps bar. I mean, he was playing my music. And as soon as Eminem get up there, it all just, they just obviously just switched up on me. And I was like, damn, and it just was disrespect. So I know that was his chance to take a shot at me, right? So he took the shot. My thing was, Cam, why did you allow that? What situation do me and you have? And it kind of hurt me more because I don't know if y'all remember, Huddy 6.
Huddy 6, you paid for his,
Huddy 6.
you helped with his funeral or something, right?
I paid, but even
rest in peace, Hud. Rest in peace.
Well, let's talk about Huddy 6. Huddy 6 is one of the, from Harlem, one of the most dopest dudes you can ever, his character and spirit, there's not too many people I've met like that. I've met thousands of men. He's just such a great man. I met him. We ended up doing a lot of music together. I took him on tour with me. Hud was my man. Like we got close quick. Hud and Cam were damn near brothers. Cam lived with Huddy. Huddy's mom loved Cam. You feel me? They was super close. I mean, close as close can get. So when Cam did that, it was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Flex, I see why you did it, Flex. Okay. But why would you allow him to do that? So I never said nothing back then. When I seen it on my timeline, I put it on my post. I didn't even know nobody's seen it. I was like, I said, damn, why did I get a shot? This is my exact word. I said, why did I get a shot? I said, but the bigger question is, how did Cam go from that amazing performance and Paid in Full? Cause we got Cam.
Now that's a
hood class.
If Denzel got an Academy Award for his role, Cam could have gotten an award playing Rico. All right.
Everybody
which was supposed to be Alpo, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Played the shit out of him.
That was a hood class.
I mean,
that was a hood class. Okay. We bring Benzino back. I'm gonna just say it on now. We bring Benzino. We gotta get on the line. Let's work out the details.
Right.
Because we could talk to you about anything. And once I see that in the guest.
Why you ain't let him land the last sentence?
Land the last sentence. Cause I already know debit card on file. Go do your thing.
So, what you mean? It's over? We're over?
I just got a question for you and then we're gonna wrap it up because, you know what I'm saying? You had one more shit.
Well, what about the Cam thing? I just want to say that, I just think that Cam made his, when he said what he said something about when he was on the cover of The Source. He said that the new owners he was on the first cover when me and Dave were ousted from the Source. So
And that's when that shit said,
100% Benzino.
no Benzino.
Right. Like that was sucker shit. Like, right.
But Cam couldn't control that.
No. But I wasn't mad at that because look little do Cam know that he was on the first cover of the worst covers that were like that were to come. Like when I had the Source was popping. We was making millions. We was doing amazing things. The covers was going crazy. When the new guy came and got the Source, that shit said fast. I mean, fast. And when Cam brought that up, I was like, damn, I don't even remember that. When he brought that up just now, whenever he said it, I said, damn, I don't even remember that. But him bringing that up, maybe he thought that there was problems or I was upset. And I probably was upset, but it was probably for a quick second. I don't get mad too long. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course you would be upset something you had all of a sudden 100, but that was sucker shit. Like, why would y'all even do that? Not knowing that would be the first cover of one of the worst, like those covers sold nothing. Like the Source tanked after me and Dave left. And, that was a fact. So I just thought that was kind of ironic himself.
Last thing I wanted, so
that's crazy,
bro. I'm gonna tell you, we had 5 fan questions.
Let's go. I want them all.
Okay. You see where we at, right?
Yeah, let's go. Come on, we gonna.
So I need you
fast.
shoot from the hip. Don't aim. Just shoot from the hip.
Speed date.
Boom. You ready? Speed date. All right. Shoot from the hip. First one. Benzino, how can I stop? This is from Brianna Jackson. How can I stop my man from cheating on me? Just give it to her quick.
Okay. Real quick, Brianna, how can you stop your man from cheating on you? You gotta step your game up. You know what I'm saying? Step your game up in ways in the bed, but also what I've known. Yeah. I mean, you have to step your freak up. You got to, because one thing I know is if you are doing your man right in the bed, he doesn't have to cheat. It's simple. Unless he just wants to. But if you're doing the right thing and if you're catering to him, and if your freak is right, if he's still cheating, get rid of him because you don't deserve that.
You gotta be submissive.
Simple as that. Well, I wouldn't say
I don't like that shit. That's why I snuck it in there. Okay, hold on, Benzino. That's good. Let's go to the next. I want to make sure they don't like submissive shit. I snuck it in there. Too late. I ain't got no time to say nothing back.
That shit.
All right, boom. Right. My wife, this is from my guy Ja from the Part My Opinion podcast. My wife has been going out more, becoming more disrespectful, and recently asked for some space. What should I do? Benzino, look, go. You got one more after this. Go.
You got to get rid of her. That's it. No, because that's the beginning of the end. That is the beginning of her saying, I'm tired and I got some side dick somewhere. Try that.
All right, boom.
Yeah, that's.
Hold on, Ja. No, we ain't, okay, so boom, this is from King Charles KC. Why would you post my 4-year-old daughter on your page, then turn around and call her Dusty, then duck a fade? Then duck a fade on Celebrity Boxing Match?
First of all, I don't even know who King Charles is. I remember the situation where the daughter had sung a Coi song, and I thought it was so beautiful and cute, and I posted it. When I posted it, they started flipping out on me. Like, and I never said that she was Dusty. I would never say no stuff like that. He turned it around into a situation where he wanted clicks and comments. Now, if fighting him can bring me 6 figures, I'll beat the dog shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm going to fight him and I'm not going to get no money, what's the use? You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah. I'm shout out to, my guy Kato from Danza. He said that y'all walked into a Celebrity Boxing match. You ain't even had no gloves. You went in there and knocked some dude out.
I'm 1-0. I'm 1-0.
Crazy.
I got a little 25 bands. That was about 3 years in Miami. I'm 1-0. Mm-hmm. See, before we leave, the 50 thing would be the fight that would be, that would be a big purse fight.
Right. Okay.
So
you and 50 Cent.
Yeah. That would be a
Celebrity Boxing match.
Celebrity Boxing, huh? Yeah. I heard he was Celebrity Boxing. I heard he was you know what I'm saying? Listen, if as a man, if you should be able to go and do 3 rounds with any man. Win, lose, or draw, you shake hands, you're still a man. You come out that ring. It's not about winning or losing. Yeah. It's about going in the ring with somebody. And fighting. Right. You come out as a man.
All right. So before,
if we really like that, I want to say that I got 2 things to say you can get on with to get on. You know how some people got this misconception of somebody, like the whole time we've been doing this interview, I know it's about Flowers too. First off, my magazine came because of him. Rhyme magazine, like, And I got to be around him a bunch of times, like in the golden era and when the Source was on top, like I got to be around him, soak up game and all that. So I just want to give you your flowers for that. Secondly, I want to say sometimes I sit and I be trying to understand the misunderstanding. Like maybe because I've been around him a bunch of times, been around the old boy and all that. We've been at the studio. This was years ago, but I'm like, he really is who he is. So sometimes I'm looking at you and saying what the reality is, what I've been around. Yeah. And I seen him be this person, and I seen him when we done all that Zenos. Yeah. I don't know if he remember that. Like I had to get
hold on now,
fucking P-Man Sam.
Man, rest in peace, man. See,
rest in peace, like for real. Like,
see, when I lived in Miami, I was on the other side of the bridge.
Blue Ocean, whole thing. That's when we bring you back. But I'm kidding. We been at Zeno's.
Come back.
You didn't get. Hold on. You ain't get to talk about when you own Zeno's club.
Right.
Oh, and all that. That's a whole bunch of on South Beach. That's a whole bunch of different episodes.
How me and Trick did an interview for the first time in Miami, and I was like, what the fuck is he smoking?
Boom. Boom. With the camera. All right. Y'all see what it is. We have Benzino on here, a motherfucking legend. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. This is how I say that to say this podcast. Shop with us, www.m3srepair.com. We out.
We out.
Right.
We cutting the wall.
All right, look. I say that to say this, right?
Men make moves.
Sucker stand still.
M3